Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been some time. I think it was over 1 month ago that I shared my last video. I was really hoping that I would get another video up in May, but there was just so much going on. It was a really busy month, both what my private life was concerned and also my work and university. There was a whole lot of stuff going on, so I didn't really come around to finish this apartment and to edit the video. So yeah, it's really been quite long, but here we are again with another apartment renovation. This is another apartment in the Britechester townhouse that I've been working on for quite some time now on the channel, and this is the second to last apartment, so the fifth one. So after this one, there's only one more to go, and then we are finally done with this apartment building, and I will share it on the gallery. So this one is more modern. It's the second basement apartment, the one that is a little bit bigger, and it is very dark, stylish. It has some slightly industrial touches maybe, and it's probably one of the nicest apartments in this apartment building. So nice in the sense of being very well maintained and elegant, and so this apartment is meant for a musician, or more so a composer and songwriter. I will talk about her story a little bit later because, again, like for all the apartments in this apartment building, I came up with a backstory for the person living in there, and I will also share the sim I imagined living here on the gallery. In this case, I haven't finished her yet, but she will be up on the gallery sometime soon, hopefully. But before we start talking about this, I will have to start off this voiceover by mentioning something that did not work when I playtested it, and that was something related to the kitchen. And I think this is one of the most annoying and mysterious glitches that I ever had in The Sims. And the exact same thing happened with the other basement apartment in this building. So basically, what's going on is that if I tell my sim to cook something, my sim will go to the fridge, take out the ingredients, and then I will get an error message like, the sim will have this notorious thought bubble with the footprints and the red X, and they will wave as if they wanted to tell me that they cannot access something or that something is blocked. And then they will put down the ingredients and will just not continue cooking. However, if I then click on the ingredients and choose the continue cooking option, they will just go on with preparing the meal as if nothing happened. So the counter is not blocked, also the stove is not blocked. They just, for some reason, they will not continue cooking on their own. So you have to tell them to continue cooking, but then they will do it and nothing prevents them from it. So there's nothing blocking anything in the kitchen. And I had the exact same thing with the other basement apartment. I mentioned it very briefly back in this other video because I thought that I had found a solution for it. Basically, what I did back then was that I placed the entire apartment building in a fresh safe, and then it would work. And so I thought, oh, this is because of my safe, maybe my safe is corrupted or something. But then I had the exact same issue again, and I have absolutely no idea what's causing this. So it also doesn't happen in the other apartments. So I playtested the other kitchens here, and it just affects the two basement apartments. And I deleted literally everything in these kitchens. So I deleted all the ball decals, the lamp, the rug on the floor, the clutter, like literally everything that could possibly block the fridge or the counter or the stove. I deleted everything except for the very counter, the stove, and the fridge. And it still would not work. And I was so frustrated, I'm still frustrated because I spent so much time on this build, and it annoys me incredibly that it's not functioning properly, and that, however, I can also not find any fix because I do not know what is causing this issue. So what I did again was that I placed the entire building on a new safe. I tested it again, and this time it would not work. Like, even the fresh safe wouldn't fix anything. Then I placed it on a different lot in a new safe. So I placed it on a 20 by 15 in Newcrest, and it still would not work. And I was like, at some point, one of the apartments would work and the other would not. So at some point, in the other basement apartment, the smaller one, I got my sim to actually prepare the food, but they wouldn't prepare it on the counter that I had left free, but on the corner counter, which actually was blocked by clutter. And I also didn't even know that sims could work on the corner counter. I think at some point my sim would even prepare the food on the counter with the sink, but whatever it did, they just refused to use the counter that I wanted them to use, although it was free and not blocked. And I didn't really know what I else could do. I then thought it might be a glitch related to kitchens placed in a basement. So I had one of the apartments saved as a room, and I placed this on a new lot on the ground floor, and I had my sim play tested it again, and it still didn't work. And then I think I even swapped out the position of the stove and the counters and the sink, and it still wouldn't work. I don't know what else I could do. I then also experimented around with other kitchens because I thought it might be somehow mysteriously related to the layout and the way that I positioned the fridge and the stove. And for some reason, this might be the cause of the kitchens not working, because in the other apartments in this building, the kitchens have a different layout. This apparently also was not the cause. So one weird thing that I realized, because at some point I really had a lot with a whole lot of kitchens on them, because I was just experimenting around with what could be causing it not to work. And I recreated another 9-tile kitchen, so just in a way that the kitchens in these apartments look, and try to recreate the exact same layout of this kitchen. And then I had my sim playtest it again to find out if it's related to the layout, which I don't know, this wouldn't make any sense, but I wanted to try it. And it worked, so my sim could use the stove right away. But I really had to lock my sim into the kitchen, because if I wouldn't do that, my sim always wanted to go out to one of the other kitchens on the lot to prepare the food, and would refuse to take the stove that was like right across the fridge, right next to the fridge. And I don't know if this has anything to do with what is going on in these apartments here. So maybe it's not working because the Sims kind of want to use the counters and stoves in one of the upstairs apartments, but I don't know. And at this point, I have really given up because I do not know what else I could try to make this work. Again, I'm so sad and frustrated that it doesn't work, because I really want these apartment buildings to be gameplay friendly and functional. But yeah, I don't know how to fix this, because I really do not know what's causing the issue. I was then also thinking that maybe I placed too much clutter on the slot, maybe I overdid it with decorations. But then again, I don't understand why it would only affect the basement apartments and not the rest of the apartments, and why it also wouldn't work if I would place the apartment on its own on a new lot in a new save. I don't understand what's going on. It's driving me insane, because I have no idea how I can fix it. So please, if you ever encountered something similar, if you ever had kitchens not working in this exact way, like with this error message, but then your sim can actually cook if you just click on continue cooking. Like, if you ever encounter this, please let me know. If you found a fix for this, if you know what this is caused by, I would absolutely love to know, and maybe then I could at least fix this build before I upload it to the gallery. Because as for now, I don't know if I can do anything else about this, but please let me know if you have any suggestions, what I maybe forgot about, what else I could try. And yeah, so that was that part. Sorry that I had to start off this voiceover with the bad news, but yeah, now let's continue talking about this build, this apartment, and the sim living here. So I kind of talked over the entire living area, as it happens so often in my videos, but we are here decorating the living room, I'd say. And in this apartment, because it is for a musician, a composer, I really wanted to place one of the bigger stereos. So normally I place one of the very small ones that kind of snap to a surface, but here I wanted to go with this big fancy one because I almost never use it. But in this apartment, I thought it would really make sense, as I thought that the sim living here probably enjoyed a good sound quality, and maybe the stereo is something that caters to this need. And apart from this, as you can see, the apartment is very dark, so there's a lot of black and gray, and there are many pops of red actually. At first, when I started working on this, or before I started working on this, for some reason I really wanted to go for magenta and purple, but it turned out different I was mainly inspired by this artwork I used in the living area and in the dining room, and also by the rug from the Modern Lux kit. I actually got the Modern Lux kit just recently because I wanted to use it for the two last remaining apartments. Mainly because I really, really wanted to have the record player for the artist's apartment, which I haven't furnished yet, but I really knew I wanted to have this record player. So I might have gotten this kit just because of the record player, but there are many nice objects in this kit actually, and I used a bunch of them also in this apartment. So about the sim living in this apartment, she is, as I said, a musician, but more a composer, a songwriter. So I thought she's dedicating herself or dedicating her work to different genres, but I thought that she mainly was also a soundtrack composer. Like I thought she was also taking part in different musical projects and also working with bands and things like that, and doing a lot of stuff that is somewhat inspired by rap, hip hop, and things like that. But she's also a soundtrack composer, which you will see more when we get to her studio, which is my favorite part of this apartment. Like at first, before I had all these stories for The Sims living here in my mind, I wanted to make the studio a second bedroom, but then, yeah, I am actually very happy that I decided to make it into this workplace for a musician, and it turned out really, really cool. Now, the Sim, which I do not have a name for her yet, so if you can see her at the end of this video. If you have any name suggestions, please drop them in the comments. I was undecided if I should make her a young adult or an adult. I think she's a little bit older than the other young adults living in this apartment building, so she might be at the end of her 30s or beginning of her 40s. I'm not exactly sure, but I didn't really want to make her an adult because I don't really like how adults look in The Sims. I just think that not everybody is aging in the same way, and in The Sims, all adults have like the same signs of age, and I think it's not working for everyone. I really don't think it does. So I decided to still make her a young adult, but she's a little bit older than the other young adults living here. She's a quite successful musician, composer. She's worked with several successful artists. She has done many successful projects. She also got some awards for them. So really her career is going pretty well. And she really loves what she's doing. She's really living for music. This is like her entire life. And she doesn't really care about romance that much. She's genuinely not interested in a relationship, but she has a lot of friends. She's very outgoing, actually. And you could really say that from all the Sims living in this apartment building, she's the one who has her life together the most, if this makes any sense. So she really can't complain. She's also earning quite some good amount of money with her job. So this also why her apartment is actually quite nice, even though it's this basement apartment, but she really made it into a very nice and very comfortable place. And she actually really can't complain about anything. But of course, not everything is perfect, because when she was young and started working on her first project, she was very, very ambitious. So she always dreamed of getting to Del Sol Valley at some point and working for big movie productions as a soundtrack composer and really making it big in the Sims version of the States or something. And now it's like 20 years later and she's still in Britechester. And yeah, that was not exactly what she wanted for her life and what she expected for her life to be. Like she really wanted to go abroad and get to Del Sol Valley and write a soundtrack for a really big movie or something. And this never happened. So basically she always stayed in Britechester where she grew up. And yeah, she's a little bit not disappointed. She's just feeling that her life hasn't exactly gone in the direction that she originally wanted it to go. And it didn't go in a bad direction or anything. And it's not that her dreams didn't come true, but they just didn't come true in the way that she was thinking they would. So she's a little bit in a weird situation because she's kind of wondering if she could have reached more. At the same time, she's almost feeling bad for feeling bad about her situation because she knows she doesn't have any reasons to. She knows that she can't complain about anything because she really got everything that she wanted, and she can basically earn money with what she loves doing, which is a situation only a very few people have. But she's still wondering, Could there have been something else? Could there have been more? Could have made other decisions that would have led me somewhere else? And she's maybe, I wouldn't say midlife crisis or anything, but she's just wondering if this is all. Like, has she reached the peak of her career, or could it still go in a different direction? Like, could she still go to Delta Valley? Could this still happen? Or has she missed this? Was this just a dream that will never come true? And yeah, she feels a little bit stuck in her life. Like, she feels like she's at a point where there's basically nothing happening anymore. And yeah, she's wondering if this is about all. So this is basically what's going on with her. I don't have as much lore for her as for the other characters yet. Again, if you have a name for her, please drop it in the comments. But yeah, I also wanted to talk a little bit about the studio because we are in her studio right now, and this is my favorite part of the whole apartment. For example, I really like how this gallery wall above the keyboard turned out. I just put different paintings and posters there. I thought that some of these might just generally be from other artists that she likes, but also from artists that she worked with. Some of these, like there are some certificates and things like that, which I thought would hint to the awards that she got. And there are also just some signs which I put there because they just match the color and maybe that she chose because they just looked cool. And then also some posters which I thought would be from the movies or series that she composed the soundtracks for. So yeah, I thought that she would mainly do soundtracks for like smaller movies, for series, maybe even for video games or something. And I thought that some of these posters were just related to these productions that she worked with. And there's really a lot of skill building stuff in this room. So there's the keyboard, there's a guitar, a microphone, just a regular laptop, and then also the music mixing table, which I think I never used that one before. I think it's from Get Famous. Maybe in one build, but otherwise I never touched this before, and I thought it was really cool to add it in here. And at first I had some problems to get everything into this room because it's very small, but I managed to get everything in there and everything should work properly. But it's really laid out for just one sim who's working and producing and composing there, so you won't get a full band in there. I just thought that maybe this was like a private studio where she was doing her compositions and was maybe recording some demo tracks that she then mixed together, and for the final productions, obviously where she would also work with other artists, she would just get into a real studio, but this is like her private space. For example, next to this music mixing table, I also put another movie poster, which I thought would be from another movie that she made the soundtrack for. And I also put some little notes on the wall behind this mixing table, which are from, I think from from Parenthood. And yeah, they're in the debug menu, and I just like to put them everywhere because they add some personal touches to a space. And I really, really like how the studio turned out. Again, it's a little bit crammed together, but everything should work fine. I think the only thing that I did not playtest was if the sim can grab the guitar, but I will make sure to check this out. And also this red logo I put on the wall above the desk and the music mixing station. I thought this was like her personal brand, maybe. And apart from that, yeah, you may notice, or maybe not, because I don't expect anyone to remember what exactly I placed in which apartment, but some of the posters that I placed around this apartment, I also used them in the other basement apartment because the guy living there also was somewhat into music, so not into making music, but listening to music. And I reused some of the posters here, but I thought that was actually quite cool because in the backstory that I had in mind, this guy and the woman living in this apartment kind of would become friends because of things happening, and I thought it was actually cool that they had the same interests. And yeah, so I actually like this detail. And with that being said, we are almost at the end of this video already, so thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider liking and subscribing. It would be so much appreciated and it would really help the channel to grow. If you want to download this, have some more patience. It will be up on the gallery as soon as all the apartments are finished, but the empty version of this apartment building can already be downloaded. Again, thank you so very much. I hope to be back very soon with a new video. And in the meantime, have a great week and stay safe. Bye.